Greetings, everyone. I'm Tim Anderson, aka Renfill, and I'm joined by my brother,
Joey, it Radler.
and we are here to do a stand up for Project Dramond. It is April 28th, 2021. Chris is not joining us tonight because she's been drawing all day. We're going to show off her art a little bit this evening, but she's relaxing on TikTok right now. She actually just finished watching some werewolf movie on Netflix. I don't know what it was. It was a cheesy B movie, and I was like, I'm not watching it with you. Have fun. I'm gonna go work on something. And I ended up playing Star Wars Squadrons for like an hour. So anyway, on my front, it's just been helping Chris with art stuff, and then just getting the core rule book basically to a good place by the end of this month, so that I can go start working on um, a little bit of the first module, but I'm probably going to still be working on the core rulebook all throughout the month of May, and then June will be all about getting the first stages of that campaign module ready to go for July 1st. Because again, these are only supposed to be in the first draft format, so they're not going to be available for sale. The point is to get the draft 1.0s ready so that we can do a play test, which we're going to be doing live on Roll20 and streaming on YouTube once a week. And then I'm going to go away from that, from the playtest sessions, and take the feedback from the playtesters as well as the community members who are tuning in and following along with those. And I'll be using that to further refine the core rulebook and that first campaign module over the course of, September, October, November, December, while I'm working on draft 1.0 of the book. And then the idea is that we will then have the first rulebook and the campaign module ready for sale by January 1st is the goal, or Christmas time. So they don't have to be ready by July 1st, just the prototypes draft 1.0. So I'm making good progress on that. I've actually been doing, so I've had to get up to speed with 5th edition D&D, because I went into this thinking that I was just going to take my homebrew old school 2nd edition type thing. And then just the more research I did, it was like there's so many complexities around the licensing, and also just the fact that everyone is doing some version of 5th edition, that I was like, screw it, I'll just do what everyone else is doing, and we will use the open game license and just do a modified version of 5th edition, which basically takes some of the rules and mechanics, but it's just those are the basis of things, and then ours is still a lot different. Like I have 8 stats instead of 6. We have our own unique classes, some of our own unique classes. We use some of the standard classes like a ranger, but our paladins are very different, because our paladins are not holy warriors. Well, they kind of are, but the whole church and the other ways in our world is based on quantum technology. So paladins are not using um, divine power in our world. They are using quantum technology to access quantum energy, which gives them these magical powers, but it is not divine in nature. So, yeah, we have a lot that's different in terms of the classes. And then, you can look at like the standard elves and the stats that come with elves, but then, like, if you look at the source material, um, I forget what it's the source design document or whatever it's called, or source research document. I don't remember what it's called. Anyway, in there, like they lay out like elves and all the general stats for elves, but then at the side they've got a example subclass of elves, which is high elves, and then it has all the specialties that high elves have, and we're dealing with wood elves and sea elves, which definitely have their own specialties. So while they have the core traits of the elves, the um, traits that are unique to our world are based on what I've created for the wood elves and sea elves. And of course, eventually there will be the high elves and the ice elves, but we're not dealing with those for the first campaign. Anyway, that's what I've been working on. Is just getting up to speed on stuff and redesigning some of the things, and I've reorganized some sections. Yesterday I did an example of a play session which features my unique um, D6 flavor rolls is what I'm calling them. I'll probably come up with a different terminology for that, but flavor rolls. But it's basically just my D6 system, which is integrated into the typical D20 system that everyone is familiar with, and it's just a little way to add extra flavor and role play to any given situation based on the DM, or in this case GM, I should say, because we can't say Dungeon Master. We can't use the terminology DM, Dungeon Master, so we're calling it Game Master and GM. Um, so yeah, that's what I've been working on and helping Chris with artwork, and that's about it. But I do want to share a little bit of her stuff before I turn it over to you, Joey. So I'm gonna open up this browser. I think it's this one. All right, so yeah, we've got this video of Chris. This is what she was working on this afternoon over on TikTok. If you're not following along on TikTok, there's all the links to the TikTok right there. That's the forest scene that she worked on today, and then we shared the snippet from yesterday. She did a mountain scene with some magical pillars and a river. So she's done a couple of pieces already this week. The forest pieces come together pretty quickly. She did that this afternoon in a few hours, and she's still got some more work to do with it. But I think she's going to add a wizard figure walking into the, and then she's going to add some more mist and fog and stuff. But coming along nicely, so that's what she's working on. So yeah, that's the stand-up update from her and I.
Cool. So mine's pretty simple. I think last week I had gotten the. I think that was when I got this stood up for the spawning of the beer when you talked to the guy, I believe.
Yeah.
Um, I
I
re
didn't share that though. That's this upcoming update. I mean, that's what you worked on last week, but I haven't shared that to the Patreon yet. So that's actually in the update that's coming this Sunday is when he actually spawns the beer. Um,
okay.
Last week's update was just showing them the fact that you now could pick up a coin and take it
Oh,
to the
okay.
barkeep.
That's right. Okay, so for the iteration after that is now you
The
talk to
update
the.
that's coming on Sunday is the one that he's referring to because we're going to
Yes.
show the actual beer bottle spawning.
Yes.
And I
Yep.
think it's the beer bottle spawning and the door opening
Yep.
after you get a key.
And locked doors. So got those two things implemented and refined some of the uh, dialogue system. That way we have options, making sure that you're confirming before you just buy stuff you don't want to. Yeah. So doesn't sound like much, but that was kind of like the core of a lot of quests.
Well, that's the thing.
I
I
mean,
think now that we've got that out of the way, we can do any type of and think about this for a minute for those of you who are watching. Going back to what we're working on, which is we're doing old school Quest for Glory, King's Quest type games, right? So everything revolved around thinking. I'm thinking King's Quest right at the moment. You go into town, talk to somebody. Like for an example, when you're wandering out in the wilderness and you find the ice giant in the cave, he's going to tell you after you talk to him. He's going to say, "Well, I've got this gym, but I'm hungry. Bring me some food, and I'll give you this gym." So he tells you what he likes to eat, which is apples. So guess what? The centaur girl in town sells apples, but you can't just give him one apple. That's not enough. You got to have like 10 apples. So if you do that the first time, you don't know that. You go back and he's like, "That's not enough," and so you're like, well, "Crap, I got to go back on my." So then you just go back and buy a bunch and turn them in, and then he gives you the gym. But that whole system is dialogue and coin. So you're giving coins, you're doing dialogue to get to the point where you want to buy apples, and then you give the coin to get the apples. Then you take those over there, you give the apples to get an item. Then that gemstone gets put into the skull eye to get into Baba Yaga's hut. So all of these things revolve around dialogue, getting items from a vendor for coin, and those items going into your inventory and being able to be given to someone else so that you get another item which allows you to unlock something. essentially, because
Which is
that's all the skull, the talking skull on Baba Yaga's door is. He's the gatekeeper. Give him the gem, he opens the gate. It's a door. So everything that Joey was just talking about is literally the core components of the dialogue and quest system. Now, obviously, there's more that we're gonna flesh out with that and customize, but the core of this is there, which is why immediately following this meeting tonight, we're actually going in and making our selection for some asset packs that we need to start fleshing out the environment and um, buildings. Because that's the next step will be to start to make this scene look the way we want. And then once we get past that, we'll be making sure that you've got all of your dialogue and quest options, everything else working with these new assets. And then once we're past that, we will then get the character models, I believe, would be the next step.
probably, yeah.
And then once we've got character models, we're pretty much squared away for the prototype, if I'm not mistaken.
I mean, besides little things like icons and
Oh, well, yeah,
piddly
there's icons,
fluffy stuff.
music,
Yeah.
sound
But the
effects.
big things are going to be definitely like the environment, buildings, character model, all the stuff.
Yeah.
Uh,
So we are moving full speed ahead.
but as far as mechanics, yeah, I mean, the functionality is there. Let's put it that way.
Yes, I mean,
And
we
we
could,
can expand from this as much as we want now that I've got it kind of set up and
and
functioning.
if we wanted to, we can completely flesh out the demo just using gray boxes and stuff.
Mm.
But
Hmm.
we're not going to do that. We're going to go ahead and start putting buildings in because the more time we have to add polish to the um, to the demo for July is going to be better. So we're going to get started on that right away, and then I'll probably start writing quest lines here in the next maybe in the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned for all of that because we got lots of more updates coming to the pipeline. So that's all the fun stuff. Tomorrow's update, not tomorrow because this doesn't air tomorrow, but we do record these on Wednesday nights. Thursday's update is going to be probably some concept art from Chris. I'll probably be talking a little bit more about some storyline stuff. And then Sunday's update is going to be what we just talked about, some of the stuff that, because Joey's basically about 2 weeks ahead. Well, not 2 weeks, but you're a week ahead with content in terms of I've already got the content that I need. I've already got your videos and screenshots from last week that I can use for this Sunday's update, which I believe is going to be update number, is it 8 or 9?
I think it's 8, which is crazy to think about, but
I can't
because I'm pretty
remember.
sure, pretty sure.
I'm going to check Patreon real quick.
Yeah, you check Patreon, that'd be quicker. Which is crazy that it's already been that many. I feel like we've made banging progress on it though.
Oh, we already did number 8. So this upcoming one's going to
That's
be
number
Adventure Game
9.
Update number 9.
Oh
So remember, we're
yeah.
doing these we do 3 updates a week. We do an update on Tuesday, an update on Thursday, tabletop on Tuesday, book of concept art on Thursday, and adventure game on Sundays. So we just we're wrapping up literally 2 months now. Um, it's April. We're recording this on April 28th. So the tomorrow is the concept art post, and then you'll have an update on the second, which is literally 1 month from our start date, or 2 months from our start date, I should say. So we is moving along and working on getting that demo slash prototype to everybody. So thanks for sticking around. Don't forget to check out all the links below to the TikToks for both of us, as well as the Discord channel and everything else. And did you hear the thunder?
Uh-uh.
Oh, my mic must be Discord's background muting must be muted pretty good because that was a good crash boom bang.
Good bang.
Um, Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to get updates for all the content that we're going to be doing in the future, and of course, follow along in all the places that you could find in the links below. And we will see everybody next week for the next stand up slash update for Project Dramond.